I want to pull up this. We got this story.
Oh yeah, this is a great story.
I love that that our guys wrote this for Timcast.com.
That's a great picture.
Liberal utopia. San Francisco woman seen holding AK-47 from passenger window of speeding car. It's amazing. There's the photo. It's a lady hanging out the window. I guess she got arrested. My understanding is it's not an AK-47. Someone mentioned it's was it an AKM-74, something like that? I don't know for sure, but she has terrible trigger discipline.
She's ready, man.
Yeah.
Too ready.
But this brings up an interesting issue. I was thinking about universal guns and stuff like that. If you're driving your car erratically, like I think the cop can pull you over and say, get out of the car, like you're driving erratic, like if you're driving drunk. If you are brandishing a weapon out of the side of a vehicle, like I don't think it's a violation of your Second Amendment if a cop's like, I'm taking that away from you. More importantly, with their finger on the trigger.
Yeah, yeah. Should you bust people just for that? Do you think if someone's walking around carrying and then they have their bad trigger discipline, like
she's holding the gun, it looks like I don't think she was intending on shooting anybody. I'm not sure. But she's holding it like low ready, basically, with her finger on the trigger. Yeah, I think she should have that taken away, and
she's the passenger.
Yeah,
she
is
hanging out of the window. But this San Francisco, dude,
things are going well over there. So I was really curious though, and I don't know if we read this in the article, but was this part of like a gang war or something that's going on?
No,
there?
I think she was just driving.
Kind of doing.
It was a speed event
with a gun.
Yeah, it was funny because a lot of comments were like, man, she's so dumb, but that photo's awesome.
That's a pretty killer photo. Wow.
Wow.
It's not awesome, dude. I look at this. I got to be honest. This lady out of a car holding that gun, and I'm not somebody who's got extensive training. I'm like, it's embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like if I took a photo. So we did a photo shoot for when we had Forrest here for Recoil Mag.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, very careful. Make sure you're telling me how to stand and like how to hold it. Because the last thing I want is to have a photo of me holding it wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's going to be all over the internet. And I don't know if she cares, though. She's not like.
It seems like since the movies have been invented that people have become desensitized to like the horrors of danger in a lot of ways. And like, because 150 years ago, if that had come out that someone was driving around like a psycho screaming with their finger on the trigger of a weapon, that would be a huge deal for that city. They'd have to do something about that person. But now it's like, it's a hero. It's an action hero. Like there's
or the Dylan were the John Dillinger days.
That's
like
what I almost didn't say that because there were like, what are they, Bonnie and Clyde, and like they're old like villains that were kind of looked at like heroes, like in the Old West.
Still are, yeah.
Anti-heroes, or I don't know. Yeah,
Billy
it's
the
kind of
Kid.
weird, isn't it? Yeah, like John Dillinger. People look back on him with some kind of reverence.
It's been like a mad distrust for the state and like a love of local authority.
Yeah. Well, now San Francisco is just devolving. I mean, could this be, what's really funny is we're sitting here laughing like, haha, she's so dumb in San Francisco. It's so dumb.
Oh, no.
Could this be like the beginning of the Wild West days of America? Like where it's like the dystopian era is beginning. The eviction moratorium is totally illegal. Biden's just basically blatantly disregarding all law and precedents in this country in rather extreme ways. To be fair, Obama and Trump did kill American citizens. I think Obama's was a bit more egregious. Trump's was a bit reckless. We've had bad orders from presidents for a long time, but now it's like here at home. You know what I mean? Like when Obama killed.
I've got this mic arm.
It's
this weird ringing.
When Obama killed those Americans with a drone strike, nobody knew it happened and they didn't care.
Yeah.
And Trump had ordered a commando raid, which ended up, we believe, killing a little girl. So actually, I should say that the Trump thing is not confirmed, though we believe it was the case. People don't see that stuff. Now you've got Joe Biden being like, I'm going to the Supreme Court to see if I can do this thing. And the Supreme Court's like, you can't do this thing. And then he's like, Congress, can you do this thing? And they're like, we can't do this thing. And he goes, hey, I'll do it anyway. The craziest thing is that Joe Biden threatened to arrest people for evicting somebody, a year in jail. Under what authority could he do? None. Literally none. Literally, the Supreme Court's like, you can't do it. And he goes, okay, I'll do it anyway. The Supreme Court can't do anything to stop it. So when you see that and you see poop all over the streets, I'll tell you this, man, this woman riding around with their gun, what did you think was going to happen when people know they can break the law with impunity in San Francisco? That guy walks into Walgreens, right? He rides his bike into Walgreens, and then he has a garbage bag, and he fills it up with stuff, and then he rides out, and the security guard doesn't do anything, and Chesa Bowden actually defended the guy.
Who's Chesa Bowden?
He's the DA. He said it was something like, he was desperate. And then he told this story a year ago about how we have to make sure that we don't we don't make unintended consequences happen by arresting these dealers. And then he told a story about how one dealer was trafficked here and had to sell drugs to pay off the dealers who were holding his dad hostage.
Jeez.
And I'm like, so you're saying this guy comes here and he's selling drugs on our streets and we have to tolerate it because his dad's in danger? Like, that makes literally no sense. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen to his dad. But how is it that we're going to let him deal drugs, pay off the kidnappers, and rescue his dad? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's bad to stop. That's San Francisco. This is what you get when you get district attorneys much like Cori Bush, who are like these progressive Democrats who are just like, tear it all down.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like ancient history and basically the totalitarian of human history. If someone were to go onto like a farmer's land and take 3 of their goats and then get caught, and the farmer's like, "Why'd you take my goats?" And they're like, "I had to feed my starving family," they would hang that guy. Probably
so
not even
brutal,
a trial.
dude.
They just take him and like put him to death basically for thievery. And we've gone, now we're in such an abundant society that it's like thievery isn't such a big deal, maybe, it seems like.
Well, I feel like we're able to see a lot more of like the extra downsides of theft and robbery, because I was learning the other day they are 2 totally different things. We can now see what robbery does to, for example, businesses that work in a neighborhood, and we can see everything it does to it like disheartens the people that live there, and it makes them want to leave. Like this lady riding around like it's freaking Grand Theft Auto. That's insanity. I feel like all we need is a drought for San Francisco to look like literal Mad Max.
It's in a drought. What do you mean?
Well, there you go. This is Mad Max. It's starting in California.
California's in a drought.
You're
and
right. Oh my gosh.
The drought is so bad that they're stopping people from pulling water out of the Delta.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, I gotta be honest. I'm looking at what's going on with the eviction moratorium, the debt ceiling crisis. Those are very, very big. Unemployment just being cranked out till September. Now you're seeing stuff like this. You're seeing more of the defund the police stuff, and I'm like, it is Mad Max. Like it is a controlled collapse almost. It feels like. I want you to picture this in your heads, everybody. There's a giant skyscraper, and there is a giant Voltron-like Japanese robot punching buildings. And the building gets knocked over, and Joe Biden, who's 70 feet tall, grabs it.
He's got hairy legs.
And he's got very hairy legs. And he's holding up the building as it's collapsing, and he's going, "Come on, man!" But it's too heavy, so it's slowly going down.
Pressure for 1 minute.
It's like the end of a really good movie.
It's going down, and then no, this is not the end. The
end of the beginning scene.
It's not a good movie. It's the end of the second. You know how in like sequels that are part of trilogies, it's always a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. The cliffhanger is Joe Biden can't lift the building back up, and he's like, "Come on!" and it goes down.
And then the sequel is it just crushes him and he dies. And then
That's terrible.
So, but
Everything
what I
falls
mean
apart.
is, it feels like the system is falling over, and they're trying to hold it.
doesn't just feel like it's him.
Yeah, I
I'm seeing
know.
it, yeah.
Yeah. When you get San Francisco with like people hanging out windows, like speeding, and ladies holding a gun, I'm like,
Well,
let's not be frogs
What
boiling
did you
a
think
pot.
was going to happen?
What's the difference between thievery and robbery?
I guess that thievery doesn't require any kind of holding somebody up.
Yeah.
You just sneak in and take stuff, whereas robbery requires somebody to, like threaten some kind of
Yep.
physical harm.
Physical harm. Threat.
Robbery would give me your stuff.
And that's
Like
still
if somebody
illegal.
mugs you.
Yeah.
So San Francisco robbery is still illegal, but they're allowing petty thievery.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Either way,
everything
right?
under $950, the police basically don't respond to because they're misdemeanors or something like that. And so people can walk
What
into
about what about $200,000 private security forces? Do you think they'll respond if something worth $950 gets
Bro,
stolen
let
from
me
a
tell you.
politician?
Let me tell you about private security. Private security will punch a cop in the face if their client wants them to or needs them to. No joke.
They have lawyers.
Yeah, right. We've had people comment in Super Chat talking about this, but it's true. Private security, they do not care. If they have a client, it depends.
Well, they don't have to play politics either.
If you're hiring a $15 an hour private security guard for an
Yeah,
event,
for
he's going to
sure.
be like, I don't care.
He probably doesn't even own a gun.
Right,
But
yeah.
like for Cori Bush, she's hired $70,000 on private security, and she's a politician. These are the kind of people that are going to tell the cop to screw off, and the cop's going to try and walk through, and they're going to block him and be like, you're not getting past us. It's not going to happen. Now for millionaires and billionaires, those are the kind of guys who are like literally would punch a cop in the
Those
face.
private
if the
security
cop,
guards will do whatever they want.
Yup.
And they'll like fly the
joke.
guy out of the country if he
Yep.
does something.
Yeah, they'll get him on a yacht and they'll take him out.
Him and his family. Like you
Get him
guys
to
will
get him 12 miles out to sea or whatever.
take you to Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
Set you up in a really nice hotel, nice suite. For
The
Well,
police
I mean,
now
it's
don't
6
do that.
years
We
while
should
things,
defund them.
I know,
You know, until a police officer does that for me, defund them.
defund all the cops because they don't provide us with that.
Because they won't take me out to international waters after I've committed a
Concierge
crime.
What if we
Yeah.
get like a police and it was like a subscription service? So you get like police plus, and police gold.
That's
package.
what it is. That's where we're headed to. I mean, if everything becomes private security, what other option do we have? People are just going to start hiring private security, and local communities, they'll band together and go, well, the police have been defunded and we need some way to protect ourselves. The millionaires and billionaires have private security, so why don't we pool together as a neighborhood and hire our own private security force? And then they do, and then we end up in Ancapistan, which is crazy to me that the left have become the proponents of that.
A
I'm
problem with
imagining
it.
like, check it out, like you someone breaks in your house and like they run off. You call the police and like you're a regular working class person, and the cop shows up and he's like, I see you're using our basic package for police service. So the person's not
You
here
get
anymore.
5 bullets.
No.
You
It's
fire
like,
5 bullets
as
at the guy.
the perpetrator is no longer here, I think you're safe, and we have fulfilled our requirements under the basic plan. Have a nice day, good sir. Feel free to contact us if you'd ever like to upgrade. Then you get someone who's got like platinum plus, and the cop shows up, and they show up with a fruit basket.
Shoot
and,
their
like,
dog.
They don't shoot your dog.
If you only get the basic
Yeah,
version,
the basic
shoot your
version.
dog. But if you get the premium version, they like put him down ethically with like a nice injection. But either way, your dog is going to die.
Well, you did call us. It is part of the
That's
package.
part of the
package.
package. You shouldn't have called us if you don't want your dog to
You
die.
could see like a basic package where they'll apprehend the guy and then let him go. But then there's like the gold package where they apprehend him and they'll actually take him to the
kidnap him and
courthouse
put
and
him
do
in
the
a
paperwork
cage.
for
Yeah.
you.
For the platinum plus, if you're like a millionaire and you spend like 20 grand a month on the police,
They
bring the
do
guy,
cruel
they
and
bring the
unusual
guy to
punishments.
Yes.
your house. They bring him into the basement where there's chains over a
Oh,
pipe,
snap.
and they're like, "Here you go, sir, as part of the platinum plus."
A bit of DNA for you.
Have fun with that. Yeah.
You got a piece of his hair.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
he's now going to live in your basement.
I heard that private security agents it's the insurance to hire those guys because like each person's like $1 million in insurance to cover. So you can't. The normal person just cannot afford that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. You pull together as a
And
neighborhood.
if people started to come together, because like technically, if you get a legal weapon, you are your own private security force. But as soon as you start to build a force, I think that you become then liable for insurance.
I
Interesting.
you know what? You know what I really do think though. I think if we did abolish the police, it would basically be the end of the U.S.
Yeah.
Because it's like you were saying, what would happen is people would either form local militias or local security companies would come in. Now imagine this. You live in, let's call it like, let's call it Hillside, which I'm sure somebody watching lives in Hillside. Let's say there's a Hillside neighborhood and the police are all disbanded and fall apart. And so they say, we definitely need a security force, police for our local community.
Yep.
So they create one. And they all pitch in money, and now they have their local Hillside police. Well, next to Hillside is Valley Side, and they do the same thing. And then one day, a kid from Hillside gets into a fight with the kid in Valley Side, punches him. The kid goes on, hits his head on a curb, and dies.
Yeah.
The Hillside kid runs away after the kid dies, and then the Valley Side police are like, "We're gonna go get him because he came in here." Then the Hillside police are like, "You can't come in here," and then you have feuding neighborhoods as if they are like micronations. If you get rid of the police, I'm not going to agree with the ANCAPs on this one. That's why I said when I talk about abolish the police, it's not for the same reason as a lot of ANCAPs and libertarians, though they have been calling me based for saying it. No, I think what would really happen is you'd have a conflict from regional departments. And then what? One police department's like, we got to go to... here's a better example. Kid from Hillside goes to Valley Side and steals a $5,000, item and flees with it. And then the Hillside cops are like, you're not coming in our neighborhood. We don't know. We don't care. And we're not investigating that for whatever reason. And the Valley Side cops are like, we're getting our property back for our patrons. And then what?
Then they go in there and they shoot everyone's dog.
Gang war. Yeah.
No
They
one
just
gets
they
any
go
dogs
in there.
anymore.
Everyone wakes up and all the
SWAT team,
dogs are
All
dead.
the dogs are dead. They like sneak. They come in their house, Mission Impossible from the ceiling, like just to take the dog out.
Take the dog out.
They leave.
Targeted hit.
That's assuming too that these neighborhoods have the same laws, because then you'd start to get even more granular local level law. Like, it's okay to steal up to $2,000 in Hillside, but in Valley Side, it's a
Well,
crime.
yeah.
It's
Dude,
okay
then you know
to
what
fight on
happened?
the street
Hold on.
in Valley Side.
Look at San Francisco. When they said they're not going to prosecute these crimes, people from all over the area are going there to steal.
Yep.
They're like, hey, freebie. It's what happened in Ferguson. The people who were rioting in Ferguson did not live there. They were smashing windows and stealing stuff.
And it's got to be bleeding over from San Francisco into the surrounding neighborhoods and cities. I haven't looked into
it's
it
like-
much.
Hold on. Barbara Boxer,
Oh, yeah.
Democrat
Yeah,
senator
yeah.
from California, got mugged by a child. Okay, a kid. We'll say kid because it was a young teenager.
Like an 18, 17-year-old or
no,
something?
no, like
15,
Was
I
it
think,
14 or
14?
15?
Was he like 6 foot, 180 pounds?
Well, I don't
or
know
something
about
crazy?
that, but apparently he like pushed her, grabbed her phone. I don't know if she fell over, but then he jumped in a car and she was like, "Why would you do that to a grandma?" And I'm just like,
there are bad people who you need to be protected from.
Let me tell
by
you this, man.
authority. That's crazy.
Have you seen that Purge episode of Rick and Morty?
Yes.
You're not. The rich people think they're safe in the Purge. They will make a world they
No.
will truly
Oh
regret.
man, I remember
Yeah.
that.
What I mean is these elite political class individuals, these Democrats for the most part, that want to defund and get rid of all these cops. I am of the firm belief that when they do that, they will absolutely regret it.
Well, 100%. When people say things like, "Why would somebody do something like this?" Okay, there are so many reasons, but did you really think they wouldn't? Did you not understand that there were people out there that do those kinds of things and will hurt people? And
She defunded the police for him, though, so that he didn't get
he should have known.
He didn't get profiled.
Well, but hold on. Was there like a social worker nearby when this happened
That's a
to
great
ask him
question.
about his feelings before
Probably
he mugged
not.
her? Yeah, because then it probably wouldn't have happened.
So Scott Adams has this theory that Democrats really don't understand human motivation. And I'm inclined to agree because Democrats seemed inclined to believe that people aren't going to do bad things to other people. And if anything bad happens to, for example, a minority or person in that community, it's because someone else is doing a terrible thing. So it's like either you believe that everyone's basically good or you think that everyone's basically bad except minorities.
I think I generally agree, but my thing with Scott Adams is I just don't take political advice from cartoonists.
Well, that's fair. I appreciate that. Nor should you, right,
no.
Seamus?
But-
He's making fun of himself.
Yeah. I
Because,
know.
yes. But yeah, I am a cartoonist. But no, I think that's true. They don't understand human motivation. And if you go to many of the thinkers that were held up by the left or influenced the left historically, like Rousseau, who think that humans are fundamentally
man.
good, you get into this place where the only way someone could possibly do something bad is if they were engineered by society to commit the wrongdoing.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.